The characters, events, and narratives depicted in this content are entirely fictional and created for entertainment and educational purposes only. Shadows Beyond Spotlight, Chapter 3, The Truth Between Us. Sophia's pulse pounded in her ears as she watched Eli rub the palm of his hands together. His usual confidence stripped away, leaving only hesitation. The silence between them stretched thick with unspoken words until Eli finally exhaled and met her gaze. "I've been keeping something from you," he admitted, his voice quieter than she had ever heard it. "And it's not because I don't trust you. It's because I didn't know how to face it myself." Sophia sat back, her hands clasped in her lap, bracing herself. "Okay," she said carefully. "What is it? Just tell me." Eli hesitated for another second before leaning forward, elbows on his knees. "Sophia, He stopped, swallowing hard, then started again. "I've been struggling with my identity for a long time, and I thought if I just focused on work, on building my brand, that I could push it aside. But it's not that simple." Her breath caught in her throat. "Eli, I like men too," he admitted, his voice raw with vulnerability. "I've known for years, but I've never told anyone. I thought maybe if I ignored it, it would go away. But then I met you." Sophia's heart clenched after realization settled over her. All the distance, all the hesitations, it wasn't about her. It was about him, about a truth he had been afraid to embrace. A million thoughts rushed through her mind, but she forced herself to stay present to listen. Eli ran a hand down his face. "I care about you, Soph. You're one of the best things that ever happened to me, but I can't keep pretending to be something I'm not." A lump formed in her throat. She didn't realize she was crying until Eli reached for her hand, his grip warm and familiar, but very different now. It wasn't romantic. It was just a silent plea for understanding. I don't know what to say," she whispered, blinking back tears. "I'm not mad, Eli. I could never be mad at you for being who you are. I just wish you had trusted me sooner." "I was scared," he admitted. "Scared of what it would mean for me, for my career, and scared of losing you." Sophia squeezed his hand, her chest aching. "You're not losing me, but I think we both know this changes things." Eli nodded, eyes glistening. "Yes, it does." They sat there for what felt like forever, hands clasped together, two friends navigating the aftermath of a truth that had finally come to light. The weight of it all pressed down on them, but for the first time in a long time, Eli looked free. After a long moment, Sophia inhaled deeply and wiped her tears. "So what now?" Eli exhaled, a small, almost bittersweet smile crossing his lips. "Now, I figured out how to be honest with myself and you. You keep being the incredible person you are." She let out a watery laugh like, "You know our fans going to freak out when we stop pretending to be YouTube's favorite couple." Eli chuckled, shaking his head. "We owe them an honest story. Maybe that's how we move forward. Separately, but still friends." Sophia nodded, feeling a strange mix of heartbreak and relief. This wasn't the ending she had imagined, but maybe, just maybe, it was the one they both needed. Sophia sat in silence long after Eli left, staring at the empty space he had occupied just moments before. The truth had begun to unravel, but the knot in her stomach only tightened. The man she had grown so close to, the person she had envisioned a future with, was carrying a burden she had never anticipated. She wiped at her eyes, exhaustion settling deep in her bones. She wasn't angry. She couldn't be, but she was hurt. Hurt that he hadn't trusted her enough to share his struggles sooner. Hurt that what she thought was love had turned into something so complicated, so uncertain. Her phone buzzed beside her, a text from Mia. "You okay?" Sophia hesitated before typing back, "I don't know." And that was the truth. She didn't know what came next. She didn't know what this meant for her, for Eli, for everything they had built together. All she knew was that nothing would ever be the same again. Sophia tossed and turned that night, sleep eluding her as the weight of Eli's confession lingered in her mind. She stared at the ceiling, replaying the moment over and over again, dissecting every word, every glance, every hesitation. The next morning, she found herself scrolling through their old videos, watching the effortless chemistry that had captivated their audience. Had she missed the signs? Had Eli been silently pleading for an escape all along? Mia's words from the previous night rang in her ears. You either ask him directly or you pull back and see if he comes to you. She wasn't sure what to do. Part of her wanted to call Eli to check on him to make sure he was okay. Another part of her knew she needed space, needed time to process everything before she could figure out where they stood. Her phone buzzed again. Another text from Mia. Let's get brunch. You need to talk and I need mimosas. Sophia sighed and smiled faintly. Yeah, see you at 11. The next morning, Mia was already seated when Sophia arrived at their favorite brunch spot. A plate of waffles and a mimosa waited for her, and Mia raised an eyebrow as Sophia sat down. So tell me everything. Sophia exhaled and took a sip of her drink. Eli told me the truth about himself, about everything. Mia leaned forward. And how do you feel? I don't know, Sophia admitted. I'm proud of him for being honest, but I also feel like I lost something I didn't even realize I was holding on to. Mia nodded knowingly. Yeah, that makes sense. You're allowed to grieve what you thought your relationship would be, but it doesn't mean that you lost him entirely. Sophia pushed her waffles around with her fork. Yeah, we agreed to try to stay in each other's lives, just differently. Mia reached for her hand, and that's okay. It's not the ending you expected, but maybe it's the one you both need. Sophia sighed, nodding. Deep down, she knew Mia was right, but that didn't mean moving forward would be easy. Stay tuned to find out what happens next. If you enjoyed this chapter, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. What do you think Sophia should do next? Should she give Eli space or redefine their friendship? Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next part of this roller coaster journey. Share the story with your friends and let's keep the conversation going. As always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace, and I'm out.